Are you tired of putting in hours of studying only to feel like it all just disappears? Well, today we're diving into some powerful learning secrets from Japan that are going to help you study smarter, not harder. Let's get right into it. So let me ask you something. Have you ever pulled an all-nighter just cramming for a big test, only to have your mind go completely blank the next day? Yeah, you're not alone. It's that awful sinking feeling of totally wasted effort, and it's something pretty much every student on the planet has felt.
I mean, check this out. Science actually tells us that we forget a staggering 70% of new information within just 24 hours. 70%. That means most of that hard work you put in yesterday, poof, it's likely gone by today. This whole phenomenon has a name. It's called the forgetting curve.
Now, it's so easy to blame yourself, right? To think, I'm just lazy or I'm just not smart enough. But here's the absolute truth. It is not your fault. This isn't some kind of personal failing. It is simply how the human brain is wired by default. So what's the real problem? Well, most of us were just never really taught how to learn effectively. We highlight, we reread our notes over and over, we cram, but all of these methods, they're like trying to fill a bucket that has a giant hole in the bottom. All your effort pours in, and all that new knowledge just leaks right out.
So in this explainer, we're going to tackle this problem head on. First, we'll take a closer look at this leaking bucket. Then, we'll uncover Japan's secret to smart studying and give you 5 powerful methods to plug that leak for good. We'll also talk about the fuel you need to power your learning engine. And finally, we'll map out your very first steps.
So what is actually causing this leaking bucket? Well, it's that forgetting curve in action. See, when you just passively review information, like rereading a chapter, your brain kind of treats it like background noise. You know, like another ad on a video that you just skip. It decides, this isn't important, and it just lets it go.
But here's where it gets really interesting. In Japan, students have to master thousands of super complex characters, and they retain them for years. So how do they do it? Are they all geniuses? Do they study for endless hours? Nope. The secret is that they don't just work hard, they work smart. And the good news? You can totally beat the forgetting curve too. It's not about studying more, it's about studying smarter. So let's dive into the 5 simple, yet incredibly powerful methods that Japanese students use to make their learning actually stick. Okay, first up is the big one, probably the most important method of all, active recall. Think about it like going to the gym. You don't build muscle by watching someone else lift weights, right? You have to do the lifting yourself. Well, learning is exactly the same. The real learning doesn't happen when you're putting information in, it happens when you're actively pulling it out. Just look at the difference here. Passive learning, like rereading your notes, feels easy, but honestly, it's an illusion. It feels like you know it, but you don't. Active recall, on the other hand, feels like a real struggle, but that struggle, that's where the magic happens. That's your brain literally forging stronger connections. So your job is to shift your focus from reading to recalling. Method number 2 is the famous Kumon Method. And the idea is super simple. Learning is like building a tower, one brick at a time. So instead of these intense, hours-long cramming sessions, you just focus on small, consistent daily effort. We're talking just 15 to 30 minutes. Why? Because consistency always beats intensity. As the author James Clear says, if you improve just 1% each day, you'll be 37 times better in a year. Think about that. All right, method 3 is designed to directly fight that forgetting curve. It's called spaced repetition. Imagine your memory is like a little plant. You wouldn't just drown it with a gallon of water once a month and hope for the best. No, you'd water it a little bit, consistently, over time. Our brains work the same way. They need that spaced, repeated exposure to really hold on to information. The whole key is to review information at the exact moment you're about to forget it. So a schedule might look something like this. You review something after 1 day, then you do it again after 3 days, and then maybe a week later. Each one of those reviews strengthens the memory, basically cementing it into your long-term knowledge. Our 4th method, Kaizen, is all about small daily progress. Seriously, forget studying for hours. This simple 6-minute routine can be an absolute game changer. Just 2 minutes of active recall on what you learned yesterday, 2 minutes of spaced repetition on some older topics, and 2 minutes of focused practice, like solving just a single problem. That's it. It's all about tiny steps that lead to huge results. And our final technique is Shu-Ha-Ri, which is the art of deep focus. It's all about creating little rituals that signal to your brain, hey, it's study time. Maybe for you, that's clearing your desk, or putting on a specific playlist, or making a cup of tea. These small actions act as a trigger, helping you get into the zone and absorb information way more effectively. So now you have this amazing toolkit of 5 powerful techniques. But even the best tools in the world are useless if you don't have the energy to use them. And that brings us to the most crucial element of all, the fuel for your learning engine, your why. I want you to think of these techniques as a high-performance Ferrari. You've got the engine, you've got the speed, you have everything you need to win the race. But a Ferrari without fuel is just a beautiful piece of metal sitting in a garage. It's going nowhere. Your fuel is a Japanese concept called Ikigai. Ikigai roughly translates to a reason for being, your purpose. And we've all been there, right? You've got the books, the quiet room, but absolutely zero motivation. That's a lack of Ikigai. Without a clear why, studying just feels like a chore. But with it, it becomes this meaningful journey.
So just take a second. What's your Ikigai? Why are you really studying this stuff? Is it to become a doctor and save lives? To make your family proud? To build a life of freedom for yourself? When you connect your daily study habits to a bigger dream, the work is no longer a burden. It becomes the bridge to your future. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. And right now, you're at a crossroads. The choice you make next is really going to define your entire learning journey from here on out.
You can stick with the old way, that leaking bucket of frustration where all your hard work just drains away. Or you can choose a new path, the smart way, where your effort actually builds real, lasting knowledge and competence.
And look, don't feel like you have to do all of this at once. This isn't about being perfect. It's just about making progress. Just pick one technique to start with. That's it. Start small. In fact, let's take that first step right now. As soon as this is over, I want you to grab a piece of paper and just write down everything you can remember from this explainer. Don't go back and rewatch, just recall. Practice active recall right now and see for yourself just how powerful it is. And always remember this. The most successful learners out there, they weren't born with some special gift. They just learned how to learn differently. Now you have their playbook. It's your turn to go out there and study smarter, not harder.